Alright, hello everyone and welcome to our course today on the basics of a PA system. Okay, at the end of this video, I hope everybody will have a simple idea, a basic idea of how to operate the PA system, especially the one in our church that you see right here. Okay, and just a very short self-introduction. My name is Jason and I am from the Chinese Assembly, SGC Chinese. I joined SGC in the year 2015 and I'm now serving as a worship leader. I'm also a pianist and also a drummer in church. Okay, and a few weeks ago, in the month of July, I tried to set up the whole system again, rewired the thing and just simplified the whole PA system. And because of that, I think I should make a video to teach everybody how to operate this PA system because I've already touched the settings here. So I hope all of you will bear with me as I go through the PA system one by one, alright? Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the three different signal level that is carried in an audio cable like this. Okay, first of all, what do I mean by that? This is an audio cable and it carries electrical signal, and that electrical signal is actually the audio signal that is carried inside this cable. Okay, three different power of electrical power that runs in this cable. Okay, there are three different levels. The first level is the softest of them, the smallest level. It comes from the mic. Okay, when you talk into a mic, the mic itself is not powered by batteries, so it does not have its own electrical source, so it cannot record a volume output or an audio output that is high enough, that the volume is high enough for to mix up with the other sources in your mixer. Okay, so the mic is at the lowest level of audio signal. We call it the mic level. It's the softest and it carries the weakest electrical signal in this audio cable here. Okay, so the second level, which is slightly higher than the mic level, is called the line level. The line level is used to transfer audio signal from a device to another device. The line level is powerful enough to power a small headset that you're wearing, and but the line level is not powerful enough to power the speakers. The speakers that you see in our church, we have 5 speakers in total, and all these speakers cannot be powered by line level signals. Line level signals, they are carried in this kind of audio cables as well. Okay, and they are not used to power up the speakers. Then the third level of audio signals, we call them the speaker level. The speaker level, it carries a signal in a very high voltage such that it is enough to power up the speakers in our church. That's why it's called the speaker level. So there are 3 levels of signal that I want you to know today. The first is mic level, the softest. Then the line level, which is at a medium level. Okay, it's not so soft but it's not so loud. And then you come to the third level, which is the speaker level, which is the loudest of them all, and the speaker level will allow you to power up the speakers up here. Okay, next I want to talk to you about the difference between a balanced signal and an unbalanced signal. Okay, actually it's not as confusing as it sounds. Okay, when the audio signal is carried in this cable, it is carried from, I don't know whether you can see it. Okay, the audio signal itself is carried through this tip. The tip of this audio cable carries the audio signal, and then the sleeve that you see around this audio connector, the sleeve, this is a tip, this is a sleeve. The sleeve carries the ground signal, so it always requires two what's that called? Two component in this cable. Okay, one is to carry the signal itself, one is the ground. When it's in this configuration, that means only 2 components. It's called an unbalanced signal. It's an unbalanced signal because this kind of signal, it cannot travel through this audio cable for too far or too great a distance without eventually carrying some noise. Okay, what is noise? When we talk about noise, we actually mean electromagnetic interference that you see in these audio cables themselves. Okay, so this is an audio cable, and when it travels, if you use an unbalanced signal to carry the audio signal from the stage, for example down there on our stage, okay, to carry a signal from the, let's say, the piano all the way up, you run the wire, the audio cable, beside an electrical cable for the aircon or the electrical cable for the fan, for example. Okay, so all these electrical cable, they cause some electromagnetic interference down here inside, so it will eventually pick up some noise in this cable because it's unbalanced. Okay, unbalanced signals cannot travel more than 20 feet without picking up some noise. Noise can also come from for example, your mobile phones. Okay, your mobile phone, when you put near to these kind of cables which carry unbalanced signal, you will eventually hear some interference like toot in your audio. Okay, and then now we go to balanced signal. Okay, what is a balanced signal? So different from being unbalanced, now it's balanced, right? So compared to unbalanced lah, so now it's a balanced signal. Balanced signal, instead of just two components in a cable that we saw just now, okay, it actually has three components. Okay, you can see 3 pins in our cable right here. Okay, so now one of the pin is used to carry the positive charge part of the signal. The other pin, the extra pin that we don't see in that unbalanced signal, is used to carry the negative part of that, the negative charge part of that signal. And then the third one is a ground signal, which is the same as the unbalanced signal we saw just now. What it does is that now when you have a positive charge signal going through the cable, and then at the same time there is a negative charge signal going through the same cable, it cancels off each other, and then when it comes into the mixer, the negative charge signal is flipped over. This is a very simple explanation. Actually, if you want more technical explanation or technical information, you can go Google about it. The difference between an unbalanced and balanced signal. Okay, but balanced signal can carry signal, audio signal, for greater distance, far greater distance from the unbalanced cable just now. The unbalanced cable can only carry at the max 20 feet your audio signal until it eventually pick up some interference. That's what we call noise. But this balanced signal, this balanced cable, can carry your audio signal up to a few hundred meters and not picking up any kind of noise. So this is a very, very nice way to carry audio signal. So I hope I make a clear enough explanation about what is unbalanced signal and balanced signal. Okay, next we are going to talk about the few different types of cables that are used in our church, okay, that we have here today. The first one is this cable, which is called the RCA cable. Okay, RCA cable, they are normally red and white, carrying stereo signal. It can be line level. Normally it carries line level stereo signal okay. So the same one that we talked about just now, the tip carries a signal and the sleeve carries a ground signal. Okay, so one is for the left channel and one is for the right channel. Okay, so this is the RCA cable used normally to carry a stereo unbalanced signal. Okay, the next cable that I want to talk to you about is called the XLR cable. Okay, this is an XLR cable. XLR cable, it has 3 pins. Okay, the 3 pins can be used to carry balanced signal as compared to that one. The RCA cable can only be used to carry unbalanced signal. This one can be used to carry balanced signal. When it's used to carry balanced signal, as I have explained just now, one pin is used to carry the positively charged signal, the other one is a negatively charged signal, and the other one is for the ground signal. So you have 3 pins. However, sometimes the XLR cable is also used to carry stereo unbalanced signal, and they can still do that. How they can do that is the 3 pins, one is used to carry the left channel, the other pin number 2 is used to carry the right channel, and then pin number 3 is a ground. So in that case, it's still unbalanced, so you still cannot carry audio signal past 20 feet. Okay, so these are XLR cables. There is another kind of these are audio connectors now. Okay, so the RCA connectors are red and white. XLR connectors, as you can see, they have 3 pins. This one is called a 1/4 inch TS connector. Why is it called 1/4 inch? 1/4 inch because the diameter of this thing is 1/4 of an inch. That's why it's called a 1/4 inch. Why is it called TS? T stands for tip and S stands for sleeve. As you can see, the metallic part at the tip can conduct electricity, right? So it can carry audio signal. The tip carries the tip is the T stands for the tip here lah, okay? And the S stands for the sleeve. So the TS cable can carry unbalanced mono signal, just like the RCA lah. So the RCA can carry unbalanced mono or stereo cable depending on how many you use it. So this is primarily used to carry mono unbalanced signal. Just take some time to think about it, okay? Then the next kind of cable that I'm going to talk to you about is called the TRS. So this is another kind of connector which is very similar to the one that we just saw just now. It's also 1/4 inch in diameter. Okay, so it's called a 1/4 inch TRS connector. 1/4 inch because of a diameter, and TRS, the T stands for tip. The second metallic part that can use to conduct electricity is the ring. The second level here is a ring, and then you have the third one, which is a sleeve. That's why R stands for ring. So now you have TRS, tip, ring, sleeve. The tip usually is used to carry the left mono channel. The ring usually is used to carry the right mono channel, and then the sleeve is for the ground. So in this kind of configuration, you still get unbalanced signal because it is stereo unbalanced. One is left, one is right, and one is the ground. So it's stereo, but it's unbalanced because you don't have a positively charged and a negatively charged signal going together in a cable. However, you can also use the TRS 1/4 inch connector to carry balanced signal. And how do you do that? By connecting this T, this R, and this S. T for tip, the ring, and the sleeve, connecting them to the 3 pins on an XLR. Then you can use it to carry mono balanced signal, right? So one will be used to carry the positively charged audio signal, and the other one will be the negatively charged audio signal, and then the third one will be used as a ground, as a reference source. Okay, so the third kind of the last one that I want to talk to you about, the last connector, is the 3.5mm connector. This is a 3.5mm connector because the diameter is so small, the 3.5mm only, and it's TRS because it has tip, the ring, and the sleeve. So it's called a TRS, and it's used, in this case, it's used to carry stereo unbalanced signal. Okay, TRS, we normally use them for our headsets and in our phone. That's the most common use for this kind of connectors. Okay, next we're going to talk about the difference between a mixer and an amplifier. Okay, a lot of people get mixed up that they say that this is an amplifier, but it's actually not. This is a mixer. Okay, a mixer takes in inputs from many sources. For example, it takes in inputs from the piano, the guitar, and your worship leader and your backup singers, and so on and so forth lah. So it takes in all this input and it mixes together. It does some equalization. That means it adjusts the sound of each of these input sources, and then it mixes it up together, and then it lets you output this signal in the line level only. That means it does not power up or it does not amplify your signal up to the speaker level. So the output from a mixer cannot be used to power the speakers because they are not powerful enough. They are just line level. Okay, so the mixer will mix up all your inputs and all your audio inputs, okay, and then it sends it out through cables like this, left and right, into the amplifier. Now the amplifier will then amplify your sound. From line level, it will amplify your sound all the way to speaker level, so that it can be used to power up your speakers, okay? And then the next thing that I want to talk to you about is the difference between a preamp and an amplifier, okay? So a preamplifier, or normally we call it a preamp. The preamp is used to boost the level of a mic, because as I've said earlier in a video, that the mic produces very soft volume, very soft audio, so we need to boost it up in order for the mic to be at the same level as line level sources, okay? So all these mixers, they have preamps on board, built in, okay? So the preamp will boost up the mic signal from the mic level to line level. So now your mic will be at line level, so that it can be mixed together with the other sources, okay? Then once it is mixed, it goes to this one, which is called amplifier, or actually it is more accurately called a power amplifier, because a power amplifier, when you compare it to a preamp, the preamp only raises a mic level to a line level, but a power amp, the power amplifier, will then raise the line level signal to your speaker level signal out there, okay? Okay, now we're going to talk about the functions and how to operate a mixer, okay? But this is only the basic level, because I also don't know the function of every knob here, okay? So we're going to go through one by one the ones that I think are most useful for our church operations, okay? So this is a mixer. As we have talked about it just now, it mixes up the audio from different sources now, okay? So let's start from number one, okay? We start from up here. The input comes in from here. This is an XLR cable, okay? It carries a balanced signal from the mic, and it can also carry balanced signal or unbalanced signal from whatever sources that you want to give it, okay? In this case, it carries the balanced signal from the mic. It comes in from here, and then it immediately goes to your low cut, okay? The low cut, as you can see, it's written there, low cut, okay? It says 75 Hertz. It means that any frequency that is below 75 Hertz, that part of the frequency, the part of the sound wave, the part of the sound wave is cut out, okay? Then you come to the gain. The gain function, it sets the minimum required level of your sound in order to pass this part of your mixer, okay? If you put a very low setting, now it becomes very soft, because now your voice needs to be high enough so that it can get past this thing, okay? When you increase the gain, that means very soft voice can also pass through this part of the mixer, okay? Because there is a difference between gain and volume, so that's the main difference. I will talk about it again in detail later on, but this is a brief introduction on the gain function, okay? Then coming down from that, we reach the EQ, okay? These four things here, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, they are called the EQ functions, okay? By adjusting the EQ, you get to adjust the quality of your sound, and it has many users actually, and it allows you to control individual frequency ranges, okay, so that your sound will sound better in whatever environment that you want to use your PA for, okay? What I mean by high frequency range is anything that is in the range of 15,000 Hertz, maybe 11,000 Hertz or above, they are called the high frequency range, okay? So you're controlling that frequency range. If you turn up the high, now you can hear that my voice is very sharp, right? And then you go all the way down, now my voice is very deep, right? Because it cuts off the high frequency part of my sound, okay? My voice. Now you go down to the second one, which is a mid, okay? The mid function, it goes together with the third knob itself. This one is a frequency, okay? The mid function allows you to choose the frequency range that you want to boost or cut. It allows you to control anything from 0.25 to 6. 0.25 means 250 Hertz. 6 means 6000 Hertz. So you can individually select that part of the frequency that you want to control. For example, I'm going to boost the meter. I'm going to boost it up like that, okay? So I've already add about maybe 10 decibels lah. You can, this one plus 15 and minus 15, this one is actually the decibels lah. So now I have increased 10 decibels at a frequency of 3000 Hertz. I increased 10 decibels. If I increase to 6000 Hertz, that means the higher frequency part, the 6000 part, the 6000 Hertz part is going to be boosted by 10 decibels. If I reduce all the way down, it's gonna sound like that lah. Okay, the 250 Hertz part is boosted. Okay, so you can try it out by yourself to increase it and reduce the part of the frequency that you want to boost. Okay, then we come to the low frequency. The low frequency is for you to boost or to cut your sound wave in the range, in the low frequency range, which is about probably anything below 250 Hertz, maybe up to 100 Hertz or below. These are all the low frequency. So I can, let's do an example. Okay, now I'm going to boost the low. Okay, now you can hear my voice is very, very low. And then I can reduce the low as well. Now it's a bit sharper lah. Okay, so you can play around with this in order to get the best sound effect in your hall. Okay, because the hall surfaces, the walls, they reflect different frequencies differently lah. So what I noticed in our hall is that the middle frequency gives you a lot of echo. So I don't want that echo. I don't want too much of that echo. So I'm going to cut the middle frequency by a bit, maybe by about 5 decibels lah. And then I choose about 3000 Hertz. That's how I control it lah. Now we come to the pre and post auxiliary. I'm not going to touch about that, the pre and post auxiliary. Maybe we can cover it next time lah. Okay. Then we come to the pan. The pan function lets you control your audio to the left or to the right. Okay, you can go, and this one is all the way to the right. Okay, when you have many instruments and many backup singers and you have a worship leader, right? Sometimes you can put the worship leader at the center position. That means neither left nor right. Okay, but if you want to give the backup singers their own space so that it doesn't fight for the same space, they call it, okay? You can actually move all the backup singers to a little bit to the left. That means you pan their voices, they pan their sound to a little bit to the left. You put the piano a little bit to the right. In that way, you can produce a better sound effect in the hall because each one of these individual audio sources will have their own space in the mix, okay? So come, let's go to the next one, which is the PFL, okay? PFL stands for pre-fader listening. Okay, so now what is a fader? A fader is, this is a fader. It controls your master volume for that channel, okay? When you push it up, of course, it gets louder, and then you push it down, it becomes softer, okay? So the fader, this is a fader. PFL means pre-fader listening. That means, you remember that I said that the audio comes from here, all the way it comes down, and then it comes to the fader finally, okay? So before you reach the fader, you reach the pre-fader listening. That means this one, when you press it in, you can listen to the audio before it reaches the fader. When you select both of these down, okay, you push both of these selected down, then you can listen to whatever you select on a PFL only. So if I deselect the PFL, now I cannot hear myself, but you guys can hear in the video, but I cannot hear myself in the headphone. Now if I select this one, then I can hear myself in the headphone. So now you can select out of all the sources here, all the PFL here, whatever that you want to hear in your headphone, and you don't want it to be affected by the setting from the fader, the volume control. You don't want it to be affected by the volume control here. Then you choose PFL. You choose a PFL, then you can hear it separately in your headphone. Okay, all this PFL allows you to listen to your audio without being affected by the volume control. Okay, it is very useful. For example, people are singing in front, and then you have the piano and all those things they are singing in front, and you want to check out whose mic is too sharp or whose mic is too soft, and you don't know who is using mic number 1, who is using mic number 2 or 3 and 4. So you can actually test by using these PFL buttons. Okay, Once you push down the PFL, then you can see, oh, you can press the individual PFL so that you don't affect the audience. The audience, they still listen to everything, but you can pick whatever you want to listen to only, okay? So that is called the PFL function. Okay, now we come to the final part here, which is not the final yet, okay? Actually, you come down here to the LR. LR means you want to send this channel to the speakers. If you deselect this one, then you're not going to hear anything already. See, so you need to turn this on so that you can hear something. That's why sometimes when everybody is singing, but they say, hey, nothing coming out from the speakers, so that could be because you did not select the LR button. And the LR button can also be used as a mute button, and that's a very, very useful function. Actually, it is recommended that whatever sources that are not used, you just turn off the LR. You don't want it to go into your final mix, because all this LR here, all these channels, they can carry some noise inside them, so you don't want them to interfere with your main mix, your main audio output. So you can turn off all the LR in all the sources that you are not using. Then you can clear off a lot of noise. Then you get a very nice sound quality. Alright? Okay, next we come to the fader. This is called a fader. It controls the volume of that channel. For example, this is the 4th channel, and I want to emphasize again the difference between the gain and the fader. Let's go to the gain again. The gain function, it sets the minimum required level of your sound in order to pass this part of your mixer, okay? So if you put a very low gain, only those sound that is loud enough can go past, okay? So that's gain. So you set the threshold, so to speak, okay? Now the fader will push up the volume of whatever that comes down or go past the gain control, okay? Whatever that does not go past the gain control will not be influenced by the fader control. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk to you about is this part of the mixer, okay? So let's come here. This is REC out. It stands for recording out, okay? Currently in our church, I use this one to send audio signal out from the mixer to our power amplifier here. This is the power amplifier, so I use this red and white RCA cables to send the audio signal out from here all the way to the back of this amplifier, okay, to be sent to the speakers. So this is the main output. So now you will notice that I have the green cable and a blue cable here. And what are those? The green cable is used to send audio signal, balanced audio signal, because it's XLR, okay? So it's balanced audio signal sent through this green cable down to this XLR cable here, all the way down to the stage monitor down there, okay? There's a stage monitor near the drum set, okay? So it's used to send the audio signal down there. That's all that you need to know for now. And then this one, the blue color cable, is used to send audio signal out to the computer that we use down there, okay? Why I need this is because in a Chinese service we do live broadcasting. So in order for this signal to come from this mixer into the computer, I actually need something like that. I need to send the signal out from this mixer all the way down to the computer down there, because the computer will control the slides, and the computer will also control the YouTube live broadcasting, okay? Okay, next we're going to talk about how to turn this entire system on without causing damage to the speakers, okay? So if you take extra care in following these steps, the speakers will not sound something like boom when you turn on something here, okay? So if you just follow these few steps, you should be okay. So number one, you turn on all these plugs, all these electrical sockets here one by one. This one is actually for the amplifier. This is for the mixer. This one is for the overhead projector outside. This one is it's not part of the PA system. This is the fan. And why we need the fan? Because we want to keep our PA system cool all the time, okay? So next, we want to turn on your audio sources first. Audio sources, for example, we turn on your piano first. then we turn on your mic, this wireless mic, but I know the English service don't use wireless mic, so there's nothing to turn on. So for you guys, you just need to turn on your piano first, okay, before you turn on the mixer. Once you have turned on the piano, then you come to the mixer, and how to turn it on? You turn on the back here. There's a button here, you just turn it on. It doesn't matter whether all these buttons are set at 0 or not. Actually, you can just leave it where it is because it doesn't matter at all. You just need to turn on the mixer. The speakers, they are not powered yet, so it doesn't matter, that's why. Okay, so after you turn on the mixer, then you come to the power amplifier. Last of all, you turn on the power amplifier, and how do you do that? The music volume here is set to the minimum. Okay, then only you turn this button on. Now if you turn that button on, you see it lights up in blue. Then you turn up the speaker volume up to about 2 o'clock position, up around here lah. Okay, then the speakers are on already. Okay, so this is the way to power up the whole PA system lah, without causing damage to the speakers. Then now only you go downstairs to the stage and turn on your stage monitor speakers. Okay, next I'm going to talk a little bit about the basics of EQ. Okay, why we need EQ? Because of many reasons lah. One of the reason is every singer has their own unique voice. Okay, some people, their voice are very deep. They talk like hello, 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 then they sing very deep. Okay, some people, especially the ladies, they have sharper voices lah. Okay, so you can set up the mic. For example, if you have 4 mics, you set each mic at a slightly different EQ setting lah. So some of the mics are sharper, will sound sharper, and then you can pass the mic for the ones who have deeper voices. You pass to them, and then they will sound better in the whole system. Okay, and then it also works the other way around. For example, you set the mic to be lower voice, that means the voice sounds more mellow. Okay, the mic, and then you pass the mic to the ladies who have higher pitch voice. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why we use EQ. The second one is also to fit into the acoustic effect of the hall, because our hall, they reflect some frequencies more than the others and causing echoes in your service, and we want to try to reduce the echo so that it doesn't feel so noisy lah. Alright, so I noticed that in our hall, what you do is you just bring down about 5 decibels from the 3000 Hertz range, like this. I set here 3, number 3, you can see number 3, that means it's 3000 Hertz. You bring down about there about 5 decibel or so. I think that is 5, I'm not so sure, but you just bring it down a little bit, then you will find that the echo will be less, and then your voice will sound clearer. Okay, so that's the basic of EQ, and EQ is also used to set up the... Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, you have a lead singer standing in front and he's singing, and then you have some backup singers singing behind. You can actually EQ their voices to be lower a bit so that they sound further away from you. Okay, for example, I turn down the high frequency all the way down 15. Okay, now you actually feel that this guy here speaking is actually further away from you. You can set this kind of setting for the people who are going to be the backup singers. So then the audience will feel that they are behind. They are not so obvious in the whole mix of your sound. Okay, then the worship leader, you can increase their volume, and then you can give them a sharper voice or whatever that suits you the best lah. Okay, and then the backup singers, you also want to lower down their volume a bit so that the whole mix will sound better, so that nobody will fight for the same space lah, actually. Okay, so now that you have done an EQ for each of your singers, okay, and also each of your instruments, the piano needs its own EQ, the singer needs his own EQ, and then also the guitar will need its own EQ. Once you have adjusted all this EQ individually, then you can proceed to mix them up by controlling the volume. This will be the volume of the mic, and then number 16, this one is the volume of the piano. 16 is written down here and also labeled down here as piano. Okay, and then the guitar that you use in English session normally will be connected to number 11 or number 12. Okay, because these are the floor ports, the floor mic ports lah. So you just raise up the volume, and then you control the volume of all this into a final mix until it sounds good in your headphone. Then only you turn up your speakers to the acceptable level in the hall, okay? And you use this music volume here on the amplifier to control the volume of the 4 main speakers in our church. And this one is to control these 4 only. It does not control the stage monitor speaker. To control the volume of the stage monitor speakers, you need to go downstairs and control it individually. Okay? Now I'm going to talk to you about how to turn the whole system off. And this is going to be the last part of the video. Number 1, we turn down the volume all the way to 0, and then we turn it off. Okay, that's it. We do the same for the stage monitor speakers. Down there, we got 1 stage monitor speaker down there. Okay, you turn it off the same way. Put the volume to the minimum, then you turn off the power. Then you turn off the mixer. Lastly, you turn off the sources like the mic here, and then your piano and all those things. So this will be the steps on how to turn off the system. Alright? Okay, this will be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me lah. Alright? And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in church next time. Thank you.